Long ago, in a vast and prosperous kingdom, there was a young king named Rayan. His empire stretched from the mountains to the sea, his armies were unmatched, and his palaces glittered like gold beneath the sun. Yet despite his power and wealth, King Rayan was not at peace. He would walk the marble halls of his castle at night and whisper, "I have everything, yet I feel nothing. What is left for me to learn?" One day, he summoned the wisest sages from across the land. "Tell me," he said, "where can I find the greatest lesson of life? I have studied books, conquered lands, and built monuments, yet my heart remains empty." The sages bowed their heads and said, "Your Majesty, the greatest lessons cannot be read, nor bought, nor conquered. They must be lived." "Then show me where to live it," Rayan demanded. An old hermit stepped forward, frail, barefoot, with eyes calm as still water. He said softly, "Go beyond your kingdom, where no crown has weight. The world will teach you what no throne can." Intrigued and impatient, Rayan shed his royal robes, disguised himself as a traveler, and left the palace at dawn. Rayan wandered through forests and villages, sleeping under trees, eating what he could find. He sought wise men, monks, and mystics. Each offered him words, yet none filled his emptiness. One day, exhausted, he came upon a small field of rice. The air was warm, filled with the soft whisper of wind brushing through the green stalks. An old farmer bent over the field, his back curved like a bow. He moved slowly, planting seed after seed in the muddy earth. "Good man," Rayan said, "I seek the greatest lesson of life. Tell me where I can find it." The farmer smiled, not looking up. "Ah, great lessons, they are like my rice seeds. Tiny, humble, buried deep, yet they feed the world." Rayan frowned. "You speak in riddles." The farmer chuckled. "Perhaps. But stay for a while. Help me in the field. Maybe the lesson will reveal itself." Reluctantly, the king-turned traveler agreed. He rolled up his sleeves and stepped into the mud. The work was harder than any battle Rayan had fought. The sun scorched his neck, the mud clung to his legs, and his hands blistered. Every time he dropped a seed, he thought, "This little thing is nothing." But the farmer watched him and said, "Careful. Each seed holds a future. Step on it carelessly, and you crush more than a grain, you crush tomorrow's meal." At first, Rayan laughed. But days turned into weeks. He began to notice things he'd never seen before, how the wind carried the scent of rain, how ants hurried to higher ground before storms, how water rippled in gentle rhythm across the fields. He started to feel something new, a quiet sense of belonging. Then, one evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the farmer handed him a single grain of rice and said, "Look closely." Rayan turned the grain between his fingers. It was so small, almost invisible against the vastness of the earth. The farmer whispered, "This grain may seem worthless. But if it grows, it feeds a family. If it's shared, it feeds a village. If it's hoarded, it rots." Everything, even kings and kingdoms, follows the same law. The king looked up, stunned. "That," said the farmer, "is the first lesson. Greatness begins small. Do not despise what is small, for all that is mighty once began as a seed." Months passed, and the king stayed to help. He forgot his title and his pride. He became one with the rhythm of the land. Then came a drought. The sky turned cruel, rain refused to fall, and the fields cracked under the sun. The farmer's crops withered. People began to starve. Rayan felt anger rise in him. All this labor, all this care, for nothing? Nature mocks us. The farmer, still calm, replied, "The second lesson is this: not every effort blooms. But every effort shapes you." He picked up a handful of dry soil. The seed that dies in the drought still nourishes the earth. Nothing is wasted, if we choose to learn. Rayan felt something break inside him, the arrogance of his crown, the illusion of control. He knelt and pressed his palms into the soil, whispering, "Even in loss, there is giving." That night, rain finally fell. Not enough to save every crop, but enough to remind them that hope was never truly gone. When harvest came, Rayan helped reap what had survived. The farmer handed him a bowl of cooked rice, steaming, fragrant, simple. "Eat," said the farmer. "This is the reward of patience." As Rayan ate, he felt tears fill his eyes. Each grain tasted of sun and sweat, wind and water, labor and loss. It was humble food, yet it felt like the richest feast of his life. The farmer looked at him and said, "Now you know the final lesson. The greatest truths hide in small things. A grain of rice teaches gratitude. A drop of rain teaches mercy. A word of kindness teaches eternity." Rayan bowed deeply. "I came seeking the greatest wisdom, and I found it in the smallest seed." Years later, King Rayan returned to his palace. He wore no crown that day, only a necklace made of simple rice grains, sealed in tiny glass beads. When his ministers bowed and asked, "My king, did you find the secret of life?" He smiled and said, "Yes. It was lying in the mud all along." From then on, he ruled differently. He listened before he spoke. He gave before he took. He saw the worth in small acts, a guard's honesty, a servant's song, a child's laughter. And when he was old and near death, he told his heir, "Remember this, the smallest things hold the greatest power. A kingdom can fall for lack of a grain. A heart can heal from a single smile. Never overlook the small, for within them lives the infinite." Moral of the story: the greatest lessons are not written in grand books or spoken by mighty kings. They whisper through small things, a seed in the soil, a drop of rain, a gentle word, a simple act of care. The wise see the universe in a single grain of rice. The foolish search the world and still find nothing.